G'day everyone, Mustard here. Okay, so to begin with today, what is the plan? The plan is we're going to build the furnaces and we're going to talk about some of the storage options. But I've done some of the storage already, the pre-storage, so we say. So we did this last time, the fabricators, and I built storage for the fabricators, as well as the fuels that we'll need for the furnaces. Okay, they're also coming around the back, just to keep this as clean as possible for the build. I also relocate a lot of the things that were in here, just clogging things up, so it gives me more space and more freedom to build as I need. I also went and redid all my railings, so they're all the version 3s now, so that shouldn't be a problem. One of the other key things from the last video, I decided after looking and doing a little bit of planning that I actually only needed 2 rows, not 3. So I've only got 2 rows because a lot of my other production is done separately in the titanium facility. The copper and calcium is on the other side over there, as well as my fuels are over there. So I ended up only needing 2, and that still left me enough room for some boosters if I need it. For example, titanium rods, which tends to use big quite a lot, so I built another row of titanium up here to cover it. So yeah. So, furnaces. Now the first thing we need to do is think about exactly how many furnaces we need. So let's just plop one down. Furnace. Might as well get it in the right location. 1, 2 at the back. Yep. Okay. So wolfram powder and calcium powder already being made over at the other little facility I made for that. The titanium housings are made at the titanium facility. So I'm starting off with ceramics and glass are both the tier 1s for this. Okay, when I say tier 1, it means that they don't use any other furnace materials. They're straight from the fabricators or something else, a raw material. So ceramics is just wolfram powder, calcite sheets, calcium powder, helium-3. So they're my tier 1s. Now, if you'll notice, yeah, I don't have any injectors yet. Yeah, or applicators. Because applicators require glass. Yeah, so essentially the first row of furnaces will be for building applicators. And this is why I built the central channel. This central channel here is for things that need to go backwards a step or 2. That's the only thing it's used for, is to go backwards 1 or 2 steps if needed. Hopefully only the one row or the 1 step. So glass will definitely be linked with the applicators. And the applicators are at the top on this row here. So the glass will be also on that top row, which means there's less messing around with the railings. I also, with regards to the railings, go over here. You can see my configuration of railings. I've used the 5-rail system because that gives me the flexibility. I can go up between rows as needed. They are stepped, which means to get from here to the front, it's got to go 2 steps. So the back row effectively won't be feeding until it gets to the 3rd row, which is non-existent now. So while planning this, I'm trying to plan what furnaces on what floors can be fed, as well as what fabricators can be fed from what's behind, so there's no need to go backwards. I do have that central channel to go back if needed, but I really don't want to use it if I don't have to. I just want it for things that have to definitely go back, such as the glass to here on these fabricators here. Okay. So that's my configuration using the rails. The 5 rails is my main bus lines, and then I will feed up. And in some cases I may even feed down. I have the rails where I can feed down. So for example here, if I wanted to, let's have a second rail, just for fun's sake. Alright. I could go down to... No, I can't because it's crossing another rail. I have other junction points. I could, like this one here, for example. It just depends on what I need. But I could do something where I could use these other rails. Like I've got the outside rail, for example. Yeah. So if I deleted this rail here, for example, and this rail here, I could go down a step. Yeah. And I've still got that one rail that continues along the main bus line. Alright. So that's how I've done the railings. Okay, so I've just got to keep in mind that the step nature of my railing system is just to keep everything flowing in one direction as much as possible without any conflicts or crossovers. If you look at my railings here, yeah, they're stepped one higher and lower. So the left to right is lower, right to left is higher, which means that they can go directly in to the machines in front, and there's no crossover between them. Yeah, so there's not going to be a jam or a blockage because something gets, you know, there's no congestion in that regard. Right, so that's hopefully one little area I've resolved. Alright, so these are tier 1s. Okay, this needs ceramics, so that's tier 2. This needs glass, so that's tier 2. This needs ceramics, tier 2. This needs ceramics and inductor status. So this is a tier 3. It requires tier 2s. This is a tier 3. It requires a tier 2. I'm not worried about what's further behind because that will naturally filter up. Okay, that needs the applicators and that, so that's a tier 3. And super magnets are a tier 4 for furnaces. What I might do, because I don't want to create a whole row just for super magnets, as I said, I might use the back channel that I've created here to go chemicals back to the super magnets. That means I only need 3 rows at the most. Okay, so that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I just want to go 1 for 1, 9 furnaces. So 3 rows of 4 will give me 12. Yeah, 9. What's a good 9 for 12? 36. Yeah, so if I build 3 rows of 36, that gives me 1 row for each material. Yeah. Each one of these materials can get a row to itself. Okay. This last row might be a bit tricky. We'll see how we go with this row here. Might need to do some railing magic to make that work, but again, I've got plenty of space. I've got the flexibility with the 5 rail system, so I should be able to manage something. But we'll see how we go. All right. So I want 3 rows and 3 high for this. Now this is one of the taller buildings. This is the second tallest building, and it's an offset of 1, which means, when I say offset of 1, it means 2 pillars minus 1 platform, essentially. So it's basically 11 high, 11 units high. So what we're going to do to maximize our space and make sure we get enough, let's see what we do. I definitely need to step down 1. I'm pretty sure of that. At least 1, maybe 2, but we'll try with 1 first. Okay, let me just get the... I'm only going to do the first 2 just to make sure we get all our math right. Okay. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible today so we don't have too long a video this time. Alright. So, furnaces, Okay. Set down one. Set down one. Yep, okay. Got a little drone friend. Pillars. Go in there. Okay, these will be our main pillars. So, I've stepped down already. So that should be... Oh. So I need two from the top. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 plus a pillar. Yeah, that gives you my total of 12. So down 1, up 4, plus obviously the pillar on top makes 6. So there's our total of 12 units. And 12 is more than 11. Yep. Now we... Oh, no, we fit. Good. So there we do that. Let's do the next set. Alright, so this is why we... Whoop, wrong button. Now, as you can see, we're short on the main pillars. So what that means, if I... What's that? That's 18. These are 11, so that's 22. So we need another 4. Yeah, we need another 4 on this. So what we're going to do... give ourselves the 4 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pillar. 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 Just want to make sure it's all correct before we do too much. Ooh, can we get away with one more? One less. Yeah, we can get rid of one less, so we need to raise that to only up to 3. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. Oh, what did I say? Kicking in? One, two, three. Yep, perfect. So if I go down 1, I only need to go up 3. Yeah. If I needed to, like if it depends on your floor level, what your floor level is. Like here, if we have a look at the floor here, it's 1, 2, 3. I only got 2 here, so that's the most I could go down is to 2. But if I go anywhere further this way, perhaps I'll only get 1. And as I go deeper out into the middle here, I might get 3, and then back to 2 and /1. So 1's enough. I get the height I want. It's a little bit higher than the last platform, but that doesn't matter. And I still get my 3 levels of furnaces. So going down 1 is good. It doesn't. I don't need to worry too much about the depth of my main floor. So let's do this quickly. So 1, 2, 3. Do this side as well. Actually, I could probably have done the entire. No, I'm going to use the whole floor. I'm going to do this one at a time. Because I don't have my scaffolding pillar on this side, so I've got to be a bit more careful. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. No. If you wanted to be safe, you could, you know, build another scaffolding pillar here just so you could work without worrying about losing everything. And then delete it at the end. Won't make a difference as far as the end because you just delete them. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Go and 1 and 2. Okay. So we know that works now. We've got our 3 high, which means we got 1. Put another one here and another one there. So look at my 3 rows of 3 high, which gives me my 36. Yeah, and 4 in a row, obviously. And that's plenty. That gives me 1 whole row per unit. I can always mix and match it, so it's no big deal there. But I'm going to try and keep it as neat as possible and give my OCD a break. Yeah. Okay, so let's start building the next one. And I shall be back shortly. So with the 36 furnaces done, it's time to start railing. And yeah, here we go. So everybody, that's this side done. Isn't it a wonderful work of art? um, essentially, oh, I missed one. That's pretty much, I replicate this on the other side, and that gives me a lot of connections up and down, but all moving forward. Every connection is moving forward. The only connection that's not going to be moving forward and maybe go backwards is these ones here, because what I plan to do is, for example, the super magnets require chemicals. Unfortunately, the chemicals is a tier 3 for furnaces, kind of, and the super magnets are a tier 4. So unless I want to build another line of furnaces, which I don't particularly want, and instead of that, I can use my reverse channel to go back. So for example, if I go from here, actually first, before I do that, I need to put these in. Well, that was silly. It's not what I want. Oh, yes it is actually, because I'm not doing a crossover. That's the other ones I didn't do properly. Which I'll clean up later, but essentially this happens here is chemicals come out, go in here. Yeah, so the chemicals come out, go in here, and then this is the only time, I hope, that I will have to cross lines. But considering that nothing, well, it might cross a little, but it won't be too much. I actually thought about doing this on the ground floor, so if there's a jam, I don't have to come all the way up top to do it, but yeah. But this will give you an idea. So yeah, so chemicals will come out of these two. Go back here and then into these two. Alright, so these will be my super magnets, and the same will be on the floor below. So instead of having all chemicals along here, for example, and then super magnets, another complete row, because I know I have to come back, I split them in twos. So 2 chemicals, 2 super magnets, and then I'll do the same for here. These 2 will go back into this one. The thing is though, just get rid of this. Chemicals are basically 1 for 1, 1 chemical 1 second, and the super magnets 1 every 3 seconds. So I will have a surplus of chemicals to store for other things. The next stage with the mega presses, for example, and whatever else needs chemicals after that. Yeah, and then the other thing also is the glass ceramics will feed into most of this. We've got ceramics feed into this, which feed into that, and synthetic silicon into that. Glass goes into here, so these 2 will be my first 2 top rows, because they will feed directly, and they're used later, so I don't need them in the furnace production at all. So that's where they're going. Alright, so that's this side done. I'm not going to show you the other side because it's unnecessary. The refineries are done, all the railing is done. Now for the storage. These are all full. I just went through them all to make sure that everything was running the way it's supposed to be. Ended up with 9. You end up with 9 mats in my particular build because I'm building a couple of things off the main line here, the wolfram powder and the calcium powder, for example, and the titanium frames. Is it titanium frames? And the titanium facility behind it. So yeah, titanium housings, the two powders are built somewhat off this line directly. Okay, so onto the storage. So 9 mats. Would be nice to have 9 storage. I'm going with the mediums because the mediums fit with my aesthetic at the moment. And yeah, so here we go. Let's finish this off. Okay, so that lines up. That's that one. And the lag is real. After this, I'm going to go through and clean every platform I don't need and get rid of it. Okay, can I fit one in here? I can. So that's 3. 6 more to go. And judging by the space, I think I can fit them in here. I'm going to keep my 4-lane highway as such. Reverse highway. There's nothing here that needs to go backwards, but just for the aesthetic reasons to keep it looking the same. And there is a second reason, which I shall show you in a moment once these are down. So this one and then 2 more. So that will give you my 9 for 9 mats. Now I chose the front of my base here, or not front of my base, but front of the furnaces here, because I do plan to build either in here and maybe some over here. So this is a really good central point for it all, because then it can go this way or then it can go out this way, depending on what I build. Yeah. Now the reason why I still want to leave this in here, because I might decide to build another level. So if I leave that for the pillars, let me get rid of this so we can see a bit better. There we go. So I still keep that pillar line and the central middle for transporting the materials from the silos. Alright, so it's actually lower. Yeah, so I'd say it's about 2 pillars length roughly. Let's have a look. Let me know for sure. Okay, let's say 3 pillars. We'll get you there, just under 3 pillars. So it's, I could easily stack another 9 silos on top if I wanted to. So say I want to bring 3 of these across, or 4 of these across, and the 5 over there across. I could stack them on top of these ones even. Alright. Okay, so that should all be working online. So let's just give this a test. Hang on, I need this one. So that connects to all 3 levels. On this side, the ground, the middle, and the top. Let's see how that goes. Oh, forgot to connect it to the actual storage bin. Okay, so the main one let's go super magnets. And here they go. Okay, now because I've done super magnets, that should kickstart almost the entire production line. Let's do one more. Let's choose one of the other rough product lines, which so what else is in there? Let's say the hardening agent, since that's a different product line. seems to be a little bit of backlog back there. Because the hardening agent wants to come out. But once that all clears and stabilizes, because it's 100 trying to leave at the same time, as well as all of this is trying to go into, but it should not actually stop. It's filling as we go. So yeah, there you go. Furnace area done. And the storage done for the furnaces. This will sort itself out eventually. There's no blockages, so I'm not going to try and interfere with it. Once it clears that little congestion there, it's all go. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and learnt a few things. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. And yeah, usual stuff. Like, subscribe for some more content. I will be doing the rest, but I'll probably just do an end video, because this is the tricky part, really. I think once you get past here and have this all running smoothly into your depots, silos, whatever you want to call them, the rest is not too bad as long as you got the space. But yeah, we'll see how we go. All right, ciao.